A lot of my friends went Special Forces, they went SAS. And where we were based with the Commando Recce's was where they would do mobility training. So the SAS would come down and we'd meet them downtown. And I'd been out on a night and my friends are like, oh, we're in Sherry's, which is a pub. We're in Sherry's, come meet us. And I'd had quite a few things to drink. And I walked into this bar not knowing who's in there. And I sort of shouted, I said, right, who's the hardest before I walked in? And everyone sort of like went really quiet. And I'm like, who is this guy? Anyway, fast forward 3 hours later, we're all singing karaoke and things like that. And I was oblivious to who was in the room. We finish the hills phase of selection. We do the continuation training. Then we fly out to Brunei for 6 weeks. We do 6 weeks of jungle training, which is probably the hardest part of selection. And as I'm laying down on the first day in the jungle, this South African guy comes up to me, monster of a guy. And he's my instructor. And he kneels down. He said, who's the hardest before I walked in? I was like, oh, so this guy was obviously clearly in that bar at that night. I said, I was. He starts laughing and he taps me on the shoulder. And he said, do you think you're going to pass this course? I said, yeah, I do think I'm going to pass the course. Is that okay? Yeah, so there's a couple of times on that course I probably didn't help myself. Firstly, for going a unit that's not normally a tradition for the army. But I think if you generally believe, I'd seen guys come and go, guys, and I was like, yeah, you have to trust in yourself. If you don't believe that you can do it, you've already failed. Mm-hmm. And yes, if you can get through without being injured, you're 50% of the way there, but the other 50% is mental. So I actually enjoyed selection, believe it or not. Yeah.